Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Episode 8. I'm going to be talking spoilers, kind of my favourite moments. Maybe touch on the whole series as a whole. But I think if you're here, then you want to be talking spoilers in the comments, and that's fine. That's your place to go wild. If you've been on board up until now, then that's probably what you want to do. Rather than doing a review of how great the show was, let's just talk about the things that stood out to us, especially in Episode 8. Let's jump in. So the tall man that fell from the sky that people immediately thought was Gandalf, and then started changing their mind as people like me were saying, no, I think that's Sauron, because he doesn't act like Gandalf, or he doesn't have his memories. There's nothing that's suggesting that he actually is Gandalf, especially as these three witch-type wizard people are after him the whole time, and every time they show us anything to do with them, what they're doing is nasty and evil. They're killing people, and they just have a presence of evil. So when they actually encounter him and kneel down and say, Lord Sauron, everybody goes, oh, it is Sauron, that's amazing. And they start feeding him information, using their magics, showing him what they can do. And then he loses his powers a little bit, and they strap him up. And of course, hobbits are then going to do what hobbits are going to do. And we've seen Nora with her little team basically tracking him and trying to help him. And they do. And she says, she utters the line, you choose who you're gonna be. You choose whether you're good or bad. And at that moment, he stands up, decimates the three. You know, he chases them back into the shadows from whence they came, and for the moment they look like the Witch Kings, the spirits, you know, from Lord of the Rings, those wraiths. Well, I imagine that everybody went at that moment, oh! I was like, oh, okay, so is he not Sauron? Flipping the script into the other side of the story, we have Galadriel meeting with Elrond, which was a great emotional scene. So many people have said she has no emotional range, but that, just without bursting out and overacting, the emotion of her seeing her friend again that was on her face in that moment, so much is said on her face with just like little emotional inklings. I thought it was great. It was a really touching moment. But we obviously are now dealing with Mithril and the starting of building the rings of power. And we have the guy that is to be the next ruler of men, supposedly, until Galadriel hears a line uttered, and she's wondering where that line is uttered from. She goes in search of the scroll that tells her that the lineage is actually broken and he's not the king to be. And so in those moments we're like, wait, who is he? Until the story then reveals its massive drop the mic sort of moment, going, hang on guys, you thought that was Sauron? You were wrong. Here is Sauron. And my brain went, wait, what? How is that even possible? And they show us these moments of,
for you, our Lord Sauron.
How it could have been throughout the series, how they've been traveling together, and the betrayal of that. Just of having to look for the person that she found, but she didn't know she found this whole time. Fighting with him alongside, like almost being friends, almost having a relationship. There was something there with them, so much so that he offered her queenship to rule with him over all of Middle Earth. And I thought that was a fantastic scene, just showing how powerful he is. And so then they continue to go and make the rings as he's disappeared off. He's gone to Mordor, and you can't help but wanting to shout at them to say, stop it, you don't understand that you were going to have this one ring. I mean, if you remember the original, the saying, 3 rings for the Elven Kings, 7 for the Dwarven Lords, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, obviously, and then 1 for the Dark Lord, who would rule them all with that one ring. And I thought that was really interesting, showcasing how the 3 are born. Obviously season 2 is probably going to be, I'm guessing, the 7 for the dwarves, and that's probably going to take a lot more interesting story with the dwarves there. And we have an unexpected tale ending with what I believe now to be Gandalf. So where we started at the point where people went, is he Gandalf? No, he's not, he's Sauron. Now we were like asking, well, if he's not Sauron, although the 3 witches thought that he was, who is he? Until he utters the line, the nose knows. And that is just like, okay, you are Gandalf. And then we have that great unexpected ending tale as Nora abandons her people, well, leaves them to go on a journey with Gandalf to find the stars or to find answers. Loving the way they kind of revealed the story of things that we didn't know of who they were. I don't know how they're going to continue to do that, like how they're going to reveal certain characters that we expect certain things, and they've kind of flipped the switch in that. There's so many people that haven't enjoyed this series because they expect it to be a certain way, like rolling over Tolkien's grave and not sticking to the lore that way, like they would expect. Expectations of them is the mother of all disappointment. If you expect one thing and you get another thing and it's different, people don't like different. Thankfully, I didn't go in with that mindset. I am really enjoying this new world, this Middle Earth, and the history of it, their take on it. I'm happy with that, and it hasn't disappointed me. It hasn't taken anything away from how great the films are or the books are. I'm just getting more. I'm so happy to get more from this world. And the score, for me, has been outstanding throughout, like just spectacular. I can't stress enough, if you have 3D audio, stick them on your headset on the biggest screen. Thankfully I have a 4K projector, so I stuck my headphones on. I was just blown away by how immersive the score is. From the set design to the characters, I've been on a ride. Let me know your favorite moments. I was disappointed that we didn't get any Balrog action, because they teased that in the trailer, and right at the beginning of the first episode they kind of do a recap and we see a bit of Balrog, and then there was this leaf that kind of woke up the evil, the elven magic that was on the leaf went down into the darkness, and something there awoke because of what's been going on top. I imagine that's all kind of connected, and they'll explain that more in season 2. However, I really wanted to see him actually in action. They kind of hinted that that was going to be the case, and we never really did get that. So that was a bit of a tease, but for the most part, I've really enjoyed getting to know these characters in a different way. Let me know your thoughts down below. Be kind. If you've got nothing good to say, don't say it. If you're going to be rude, I will block and delete you. That's just how it is. But if you have good criticism in a nice way to say it, then go for it. Let's chat. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.